Hello, Earth Angels, and welcome back to another episode of Alignment Academy. It's your host, Kristen, and I am really excited for today's episode. It's going to be a little bit different than most of our episodes. I feel like, honestly, there's not really a format to these things. I try to just come on and talk to y'all and be myself and spit some fire, you know the drill. But when I asked my guides, I just sat down this morning and I was like, okay, I don't really know what to podcast about this week. And I asked my guides and they were like, you need to just do some advice, some perspective shifts for difficult times, because truly when you're in a period of hardship, whether it's a rock bottom or a breakup or going through a hard time starting your business or struggling with fear of judgment or whatever you might be going through, the biggest thing that will help is looking at things from a higher perspective, because sometimes we're just too zoomed in our life to really see the bigger picture of things. And that's really what I think that the journey of spirituality and expanding and raising your consciousness is, because consciousness is the ability to look at things from multiple perspectives. And so as you raise your consciousness, basically you're expanding your ability to hold that higher perspective for longer periods of time. That's really the message that I'm getting. So with that being said, when you're going through hard, challenging, difficult times, your work is to master the present moment. It's to really start to look at the higher perspective, even when you're in that 3D human experience. And that is true mastery. That's a little bit what we're going to be getting into today. I just kind of wrote down some things that I wanted to touch on, and we're just going to see where this podcast goes. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristen. I am a mindset and intuitive business mentor, angelic channel, and I love blending the worlds of mindset, spirituality, business, because the truth is that your business is a spiritual journey. If you haven't figured that out yet, then welcome to the club. Your business grows as much as you do, right? That's really what I'm all about. Some updates on my end. Let's see. It's Tuesday. I really have just been busting these out right as the weeks go on. So you guys really are getting real-time updates, which I guess is good. But this last weekend on Sunday, I went to this thing called the Conscious Life Expo up in LA. So about 2 hours from where I live now. And it was one of those things, I talk about putting yourselves in the right room, guys. And it was one of those things where I really honestly didn't want to go. I got invited by this brand that I'm wearing right now, GFL, Galactic Federation of Light. You guys can use my discount code, by the way, Kristen, for 10% off. They have really cute sets. This is a sweat set. They have the angel number sweat set where it has 222. This is the Merkaba. They have spiritual clothing. But anyway, so I work with them because I actually just love their clothes. And they invited me to this Conscious Life Expo. And I just had my Joshua Tree retreat, as you guys know, last week. And so I was working all last weekend. I got back on Monday. And then this weekend I had stuff to do the whole weekend. And so I was I haven't had a weekend, a real weekend in a couple weeks. And I was feeling super run down. And I was I don't know, I don't want to go. And so I wasn't planning on going, honestly. Actually, I'll tell you guys the story because it's a pretty good story. So me and Brie are driving home from Joshua Tree, and she's I'm going to the Conscious Life Expo in LA next week with GFL. Do you want to come? And at this point, I haven't even gotten invited. I've never heard of this thing. I am so beat right now from after our retreat. I was there's no shot. So I was honestly, that sounds great, but no. She's come on, it will be fun. There's going to be a lot of amazing creators there. There's going to be a lot of really good connections. Please come. And I was honestly, I'm not invited. I don't have a ticket. The answer is no for me right now, unless it falls into my lap and source and my guides prove to me that I need to be there. I'm just not gonna really put in any effort to make it happen. And she let it go. She was okay, fair. We drive to her house. I drive home. We're going about our life. And then that night, the brand texted me and was hey, we have an extra ticket for the Conscious Life Expo. We would love for you to come, blah, blah, blah. And I'm oh my gosh. So I tapped in, and when I asked my guides, should I go to this? They were you need to be there. There are some people that you need to meet. There's some souls that, you need to connect with, just go. So this Sunday, all day, I was in LA, literally from I left at 8 a.m. got home at 12 a.m. So I was in LA all day, and I gotta say, I keep on saying this, but I'm just gonna keep saying it because it just keeps proving itself to be true. Putting yourselves in the right rooms with people is literally invaluable. There's nothing more valuable than putting yourselves in the right rooms with creators, with people who inspire you, with people who just can show you what's possible, because I met so many creators that I literally follow on Instagram and TikTok, and we created real life connection and now we're homies. And I'm like, that was so invaluable to like inconvenience myself to put myself in a room with them. And yeah, I'm just gonna urge you guys to go to events, to follow your pings, to go to something that might be a little inconvenient or stretching you, but you know you need to be there, right? And like 11 days I go to Joe Dispenza. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I go to the Joe Dispenza Advanced Meditation Retreat, and I know it was the same thing. Like when I was going to pay for that, I was like, oh my God, it's Tuesday morning. I'm not really in the mood to drop, $3,500. But like my guides were like, you need to be there. The people that you're going to meet, the connections that you're going to make, the transformation you're going to have inside, it's going to be worth it. Like just go. There's nothing better than putting yourself in rooms with really dope people and also up-leveling yourself as you do it, because it also is uncomfortable for you, which is helping you grow and all the things. So that was kind of like what I did this weekend. That was the highlight, I would say. It was really, really fun because I like got home so late. I've just been super sleep deprived. So last night I literally slept for 11 hours straight. So I'm feeling pretty good today, excited to podcast and excited to get into this episode. And just right before we fully get into it, I just want to remind you that my retreat, Cosmic CEO in Costa Rica, this May 17th through 24th is still open. Invite or application only. You can find the application if you are interested in coming right below this podcast, wherever you're listening to it. And I highly recommend applying if you feel your soul calling you to do so. It's just like what I talked about, putting yourselves in the right room with people. It's invite or application only because it's going to be very curated, meaning it's going to be high-level entrepreneurs that are here to, really lift the vibration of the planet. We are calling in light workers who are ready to step into their full power and transform their life and business. So it's going to be super fun. I really hope to see you there. I mean, it's going to be epic. We're going to be dancing in the jungle, learning how to grow our business, learning how to brand, opening our intuitive gifts, learning how to channel our guides, all the things. Just, it's going to be filled to the brim with adventure, workshops, fun, soul fam. So you can find the application below. You can also DM me Cosmic if you would like to apply, and I can tell you if you're a good fit and send you the application. Let's go ahead and get into it. So higher perspectives for difficult times. Something that has been very, very loud in my mind has been this perspective of sometimes alignment is disguised as misalignment first. Let me explain, right? Sometimes something happens and our ego is so attached to one certain outcome that it is convinced that everything is going to shit. It's so unaligned. Life is not supposed to turn out this way. But sometimes alignment is only built from that destruction, because destruction is really expansion in disguise. I talked about that on my last podcast. Like destruction is really expansion, but you have to go through the destruction first. And a good life example for me is like the breakup from last year, right? I'm so fucking sick of talking about it, guys. We are not going to get into it. And the amount of things that had to crumble in my life to now hold this fucking amazing life that I have today, I would have never been able to guess. Like, I am hosting retreats. My spiritual gifts have blasted wide open. I am connected to my best friends that I've ever had in my entire life. I am making more money than I could have ever imagined. And it was built out of misalignment. This thing that I thought was going so wrong in my life was actually going so right, because it was building me into the person that I am meant to be today. Another example is I want you guys to think about blood in the bloodstream, right? When a cell gets sick, if you zoom all the way in, all the other cells around it actually start to attack that blood cell. And it looks like all the cells are attacking itself, right? Because it's like all these are like under attack. Now, if you zoom out, or if you just wait, right? If you wait, if you're patient, if you look at it from the higher perspective, which is what I want you to do with your life, you actually see that they're attacking that sick blood cell to bring more harmony into your overall being. And that is probably what's going on in your life right now. If there's something that feels like it's so misaligned, let's say that you're getting super triggered. Let's say that you just went through a relationship ending. Let's say that you had a friendship ending. I know it feels like a lot of misalignment right now. It feels like a lot of destruction is happening in your life. Can you just hold on a little bit? Let source work its magic. Can you just hold on just a little bit to let it play out just a little bit more, to see that this might actually be the best thing that's ever happened to you, to see that this actually might be something that's so beautiful and creates you into the person that you're meant to be, to hold the vision that source, God, your guides have for you. That's all I want to say about that. Alignment is often disguised as misalignment. The next thing I want to cover is fear, because fear is one of the biggest things that holds people back. But what I have really learned about fear is that people don't understand it. People are so scared of fear. I know that sounds like obvious, like people are so scared of fear, but what they don't really do is like, they don't really ever take the time to really like let the fear play out in their mind, right? So something that I do with my clients a lot is I'm like, okay, so what happens if that person judges you, right? You guys are maybe, a lot of you probably want to start showing up in a bigger, more authentic way online, and you might be held back because you're scared of your family and friends' judgment. And sometimes I'm like, let's just really go there with my clients. Like, let's go there. Okay, so you show up online, you start to share your spiritual gifts. What happens when your friends judge you? They're like, well, then they like talk bad about me. And I'm like, okay, what happens after that? And they're like, well, then I would be hurt, but I guess nothing. And I'm like, yeah, your biggest fear is that these people say a few words about you and then they move on with your life. Like, you're going to stop your entire soul's purpose because of that? Like, because of that? You know what I mean? And so what I want to say is that freedom is on the other side of fear. The things that you're most scared to do are probably the things that are going to help you grow the most. Like, truly, your ascension, this is something my guides dropped into my head the other day. Your ascension is connected to how much action you take. Meaning, your fear is probably the one thing that's going to quantum leap you into the actual reality that you want to be living in, because the version of you that's living in that reality has probably overcome the fear that you're feeling. I want you guys to befriend your fear. Now, when I'm scared of something, when I'm scared of an investment, when I'm scared of losing someone, I really like play the game. I'm like, will I survive? Am I going to die if I do this thing? What's the worst case scenario? Do I actually not have the money, or am I just scared of spending the money? Like, really allow yourself to ask yourself the hard questions and go there, because what you're going to see is that when you start working through even like mini fears, then the bigger fears are easier to work through, and then fear has no hold on you. If you're fearless, then what's stopping you, right? Like, I truly feel like I'm at the point in my life where like I'm pretty fearless. I will do anything. I will literally probably do most things that I want to do, right? All things considered. And now that I have nothing to really fear, I'm like, I'm not scared of losing anyone. I've lost best friends. I've lost somebody that I've loved. You know, I've moved across the country alone. I've started a business. I've left my corporate job. I've done so many things that scared me, guys. And look at me. I'm thriving. Truly, I'm thriving. And so I'm like, fear is fake. It's not true. It's not real. And it's a waste of your imagination, truly. So whatever you're scared of, I'm going to urge you to really go there, write down, okay, well, what happens if my worst case scenario plays out? Get comfortable with that worst case scenario and then take action on it, and start small, right? Like, if it's like a big thing, like spending a lot of money and that would put you into fight or flight, try spending like a little bit of money and seeing how you feel. Or like, if it's like whatever it is, try to do a micro version of it first and then go to the bigger version, because that will probably help you get used to, you know, really playing out what needs to play out and holding the vibration that you need to hold to have whatever is on the other side of fear. This is kind of a subtopic to the fear, but it's also correlated. It's like also its own point. I am quickly interrupting this episode to remind you guys that if you're a listener, which clearly you are, I have created a free meditation for all of you. This meditation was built out of my rock bottom when I needed to trust the universe and release a lot of anxiety I was feeling, and I didn't know how. So I learned how to trust the universe, and I'm going to teach you how in this meditation. It's really practicing this feeling of being held and supported, and remembering that you actually are held and supported by the universe in every single moment. All you have to do to get this meditation is to rate and review the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on, and then go ahead and head over to my podcast Instagram at Alignment Academy Podcast. Give it a follow, and then message me on there with a screenshot of your rating or review, whatever platform you're listening on, and I will send you the meditation. Okay, now back to the episode. All the people that you look up to, the most successful people in your life, they're not the ones who haven't experienced fear. They're the ones that knew how to move through it and felt the fear and did it anyway. What that means is like, it's not like I don't experience fear. I just am one of the people that hasn't let fear stop me. And if you can decide that you're one of those people that doesn't let fear stop you, you are going to be part of the 1% that gets what they want in this world. There's so many people that say they want big things, but they're not willing to do the things that get there. Just decide that you're going to be one of the people people who does anything that needs to be done to get what you want. And now you're in that top 1%. Like, I've said this before on my podcast, but like, I actually don't think that there's that much competition at the top, because if you're just willing to go the extra mile and like really show up every day and like really do the things that need to be done, not a lot of people are willing to do that. And there's not that much competition. So that's my 2 cents, take with it what you want. All of these guys, like, take what you want from them, leave the rest, because all of this is just my advice. And yeah, just discernment. The next one is for anyone who feels like they want so much more out of their life, but they're just like literally hating where they are right now. I want to remind you that you won't get where you want by hating where you are, right? What that means is, when you're in this state of massive resistance, I hate this. This is wrong. I shouldn't be here. I should be at a new job. I should have my business running by now. I should have more clients. I should have a boyfriend. I shouldn't be single. All those things, they lower your vibration so much because you're in a perpetual state of resistance. Resistance is thinking that the world is wrong the way it is in this moment. The biggest tool that's going to help this is pure acceptance and appreciation for where you are. There are things that you can appreciate about where you are. Even if it's, I hate my job, but my coworkers are really supportive. I hate my job, but it's funding my lifestyle, and I'm really appreciative of the money it's giving me to fund, my dreams. Like, there are things that you can find appreciation for. The vibration I like to kind of hold is like accepting where you are, excited for where you're going, because that is the state of divine neutrality. And when you're in neutrality, now the things that actually want to manifest in your life can easier flow in and out. And so try to practice the state of neutrality and acceptance for everything. Like, I love giving my clients acceptance rants when they're in really big states of resistance. I accept this day. I accept how many clients I have. I accept where I'm at in my business. I accept my relationship status. I accept everything. Like, the more that you can just become an acceptance for what is, I accept that I'm going through a friendship breakup. I accept that we're no longer friends. I accept anything that you can just get into this state of like neutrality. Do you even just hear how that just loosens the resistance on the day? It's like, I accept it. I have big dreams, but I accept where I'm at. That can bring you so much peace. And again, it's the vibration where things can actually start to flow in your life. When you're in resistance, you're not even going to be manifesting clients. You're not even going to be manifesting opportunities or things flowing to you, because you're just hating where you are, and you're not a vibrational match to actually what you want, which is loving where you are. You won't get where you want by hating where you are. There is wisdom in the experience you're having. There's a reason that you're in it still. So just try to extract the wisdom, learn the lesson so that you can move on. The next perspective shift is for anyone who's going through a massive rock bottom in their life. I was doing some channeling on rock bottoms, and like, this was especially when I was going through mine. I was trying to understand what was happening on a soul level. And my guides used to tell me that my rock bottom was recalibrating my vibration so that I could hold more. This didn't really make me feel better at the time, because I didn't know what holding more meant. But now, like, months down the road, a year later, I'm like, oh, I get it. I needed to be able to hold more money, hold more success, hold more self-worth. I wasn't able to do that with those current circumstances. So I kind of had to be rock bottomed to find the inner strength within me. Oh, now I don't rely on anyone, on anything. I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. I know what I bring to the table. With this new vibration, I can hold more success. I can hold more people coming into my world. I can hold more of everything that I want. And so if you're going through a rock bottom, it's just because your self-worth isn't where it needs to be to hold what you're trying to hold. And the universe is trying to recalibrate your vibration so that you get to up-level your self-worth. You get to up-level your security within yourself, right? Like, now I have such an unbreakable sense of security. I'm like, anyone can go or come from my life. Even if you're the closest person in my life, if you come or you go, it's okay, because I know I'll be okay. I'm like, I don't care about, and there were so many experiences within my rock bottom that like really helped me be so strong. I was actually telling my friend the other day, I was like, even moving into my apartment was like the biggest spiritual experience for me, because the couch that I'm looking at right now, this table, these chairs that I'm sitting on, guess who built them? Your girl built them. Me. I took them out of the box. I didn't have any man to help me. If I needed help, I hired someone to do it. I paid for it to be done, right? Like, all those experiences, I was like, it built so much strength, because before, oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna tell this story. So when I was going through the rock bottom, I was in New York with my best friend, Amanda. You guys probably haven't maybe heard about her a lot. She's been my best friend, like since college. We interned at Under Armour together, and then we worked in Baltimore together for like 4 years, but she lives in New York now. And I was on her floor, I was going through the breakup, and I was like, Amanda, how do you live alone? How do you put your furniture together? Like, who helps you? Because, for the last 4 years, I'd had a guy to help me, like, lift furniture, bring it into the apartment, like, set it up. Like, I hadn't done any of that. And she's like, Kristen, you figure it out. You hire help if you need it, but you're more capable than you think you are. And I just remember inside, like, I was kicking and screaming about that. She was right. You just figure it out. And now I'm so strong. I'm like, I don't need no man. I mean, I want a man's, of course, but I don't need no man, like I am strong, I'm capable, I take care of myself, like we're good, Long story short, if you're going through a rock bottom, first of all, I've been there and I'm like really giving you a big hug. I hope you can feel it through the screen or through my voice. Like I'm really sending you so much strength and love. And I'm also going to have your higher self send you strength. I'm going to have my higher self send you strength. I'm going to have Archangel Michael send you strength. All the angels sending you strength right now. And on top of that, I know that on the other side of this is like a version of yourself that you can't even fucking imagine is possible. Just take it one day at a time and keep going because your vibration is getting so strong so that you can hold everything that you want in this life. My sixth higher perspective is that your thoughts about yourself are more important than other people's thoughts about you. The reason we need to talk about this is because a lot of times when we're on social media and we get hate comments or we get, some trolls, the reason it hurts us so bad is because we don't have a strong enough sense of self that we almost believe other people's projections of us more than we believe our own opinion about ourselves. And one of my clients was struggling with this the other day. She was like, I got all these hate comments. I don't really want to show up for a few days. I need a few days to like really get my self-worth back where it needs to be. That really hurt me. And I was like, girl, do you know who you are? Do you know that you're only trying to put good into the world? Do you know that you're not trying to hurt anybody? Do you know that your intentions are good? Do you know that this has worked for you and you're just trying to share what's worked for you? Like, do you know that you're a good person? And she was like, yes, 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 yes to all the questions. And I was like, if you know who you are, then stop making it up for debate. It's not up for debate, but you're making it up for debate by believing what these trolls are telling you about you. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're right. And I was like, yeah, I know. So decide, I know who I am. I know that I'm a good person. I know I'm only trying to put good into the world. And from that space, like guys, if people want to judge you after that, like if you're like, I literally know I'm just trying to follow my soul's purpose. I know I'm just trying to put good into the world. I know I'm just trying to help people. And then your friends and family are going to judge you for that. Let them judge you because you know who you are and it no longer bothers you on that deep level when you know who you are. Don't give your power away. You take your power back when you decide who you are and don't let other people tell you that. Okay. Yeah. Let's wrap that one up. This next perspective shift has to do with money and the abundance mindset. I've been learning so much about money this year. I've really been mastering the game of money. And one thing that I just want to remind you of is that money doesn't care about how good of a person you are. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how much you work or how little you work. Money just goes and flows to the people who feel worthy of it. Worthiness is the game of money. And I'm not saying I have a lot of money, so I feel worthy. It's actually the opposite. It's I feel worthy, therefore I am going to attract a lot of money. Money is the vibration of wholeness. Money is the vibration of abundance. Money is the vibration of appreciation. Money is the vibration of more than enough. So even right now, wherever you are, if you're driving, you can do this with your eyes open. If you're sitting somewhere, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine I am giving you $3,000. Imagine it. And then I want you to imagine opening your bank account and seeing the $3,000. Do you feel excitement, gratitude, appreciation, more than enough? Okay, now turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. And even when you think you can't feel any more gratitude and abundance, turn it up. Make the colors brighter, make it louder. Imagine you FaceTiming your best friend, just saying what happened. Pull up this energy in your heart. That is the frequency of abundance, guys. Now, open your eyes. Can you hold the state? Can you bring it up with your eyes open? That's how you stay in the frequency of abundance. Like, guess what? You don't have $3,000, but you're feeling abundant right now. Because guess what? You are the source of your abundance. You can feel abundance without money. That's the key, guys. You can feel abundance without money. The longer you tie your abundance to how much money you have, the less abundant you'll be. But you can do that with things in your house. I have abundance of air to breathe. I have abundance of clothes. I have abundance of shoes. I have abundance of friends. I have abundance of love from my dog. Like, there's so many things where you can feel abundant and hold that vibration, and that's when money flows to you. I also am going to say that if you are wanting to master the game of money, like, you have to actually really be in relation with money. Like, I learn about money so much. I read books, I've taken courses, I meditate every single day and like really hold the vibration of abundance and wealth. Like, I really curate and take time to spend time with the frequency of money, and your money mindset and your money story is not going to change unless you take time to change it. And so I'm going to invite you guys to purchase my Abundance Masterclass if you're ready to up-level your money story. The way I teach it is different than any other teacher because I cover the inner child work that you need to do and the quantum physics and quantum manifestation that I've done, which is how I've healed my money story 3 times my income this year. It really is about healing the subconscious beliefs and also manifesting with the quantum field. I love the meditation that's in this masterclass. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a discount if you purchase it at the link below. So go ahead and get the link, go into the Abundance Codes Masterclass, and happy manifesting money. My last little piece of advice, perspective shift, thing that I really want to teach you guys today is separating your worth from other people's opinions about you, from other people's shit, right? Like, this is really the idea of minding your vibration, letting other people do what they want, but not making it mean anything about you. And the example that's coming to mind right now, and you can kind of apply this to anything, but when I was first starting my coaching business, and I see a lot of my clients going through this too, is like, if someone said no to me, I would make it mean that I'm the worst coach ever. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Like, now when someone says no to working with me, I'm like, it doesn't mean anything about me. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad coach. It doesn't mean that I'm not good enough. It doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of money. It literally says more about them than me. It's like, they don't believe in themselves. They're not ready to invest. They're the ones that are struggling with, their self-worth and money and believing. Like, it doesn't mean anything about me. And so I apply this to so many areas of my life. Like, even if I'm going through like a friendship thing or a relationship thing or like a dating thing, I'm like, if your behavior is whack, I no longer take that as a reflection of me. I know who I am. I know what I'm worthy of. I know what I bring to the table. And if you want to act in a different way, that's cool, but I'm not going to let it like ruin my vibration, right? So I'm just going to recap that with like, mind your vibration, separate your worth from other people's behavior. And if you're having trouble doing this, inner child work will really help, because sometimes we get triggered. We can't really hold the vibration we want to, but inner child work helps us self-regulate and get us back to a place of feeling worthy, feeling validated, feeling good enough, even when the external circumstances haven't changed. And honestly, like, that's why inner child work is a little bit of like quantum leap work, because when you can change how you feel about yourself, when nothing externally or circumstances hasn't changed, you're fucking powerful. And so if you guys want to get my inner child meditation, it's linked below. Highly recommend embarking on your inner child journey if you haven't, because it's literally changed my life. But yeah, guys, those are all my tips for today. Those are the things that wanted to come through. So I hope they were helpful. Send me a DM on Instagram if you found this helpful, or like send me your favorite tip. I love hearing from you guys. I love when you guys DM me and tell me like about something that you learned from the episode. So my DMs are always open. If you guys have any episode requests too, feel free to reach out. But that is it for today. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. Take some action if you need to. Send this to a friend if it was helpful, and I will see you guys next week. I love you. Bye.